Hey guys, so I just wanted to make a quick video here about Bitcoin and the amount of Bitcoin you might consider having. So, Bitcoin was born out of the 2008 financial crisis. It is now May 5th, 2020, and we are heading into or have started our coronavirus economic crisis. So, there's the health aspect, which, plenty of people are talking about. But this is about the monetary aspect. So we know that the Federal Reserve has been printing trillions upon trillions of dollars of base money. That money is being loaned out through the SBA and through other programs, through stimulus, individual stimulus, and whatever else they're doing behind the scenes as far as bailing out banks and other central banks. Before all this is said and done, we've already, increased the base money supply by 50-60%. By the time this is done, it's probably going to be, double or quadruple or something like that, before all the different interventions are done. Plus, we're already at 0% interest rates nominally. That's going to go negative. The Fed has already announced that they're going to be buying, corporate debt of various kinds. And I think it's just a matter of time until they start buying corporate equities directly or indirectly, like they're with the BlackRock workaround to get around the actual law, that pesky thing. So so just as Bitcoin was born in the previous financial crisis, where there was a recognition that the existing monetary system was not working for people, I think that this financial crisis is going to be what brings it mainstream, because the pathways of inflation are very are many and varied. So in the last financial crisis, we saw at that point an unprecedented amount of base money created, and a lot of people were warning that that was going to translate into runaway or very high inflation of consumer prices. What happened instead is that money all got bottled up inside the financial sector and just went to financial assets like stocks and bonds and things like that. So real estate. It took a while, but that's where all the inflation ended up. Now, over time since then, a lot of it has spread out throughout the economy, and prices have gone up over the last 10, 12 years, but not as much or as fast as people initially thought, because they didn't recognize that there were these other avenues that money could flow, which is why I prefer the original definition of inflation as being the increase in money supply, and increase in consumer prices is just one of the effects of inflation, rather than the increase in consumer prices being the definition of inflation. But it's not getting the point, whatever. But eventually, there's going to be stops and starts and deviations along the way, but this money is going to work itself out into the wider economy at some point, and we will see a rise in the general inflation of consumer prices. So that will be one of the end results. I think it'll take a while, because initially people not working and people selling financial assets and selling real estate, that's going to be very deflationary. So that has to be overcome, and then the inflation will rise again. So I think this is the crisis that is going to bring Bitcoin mainstream, and crypto in general, but primarily Bitcoin. So the question is, how much you got? So I got more than most. I've got 2 Bitcoin right now, and I think that's an okay level. So the way Bitcoin is constructed, there's going to be a potential max of 21 million, in like 100 years or something. And then that'll be it. So, there are however many people in the world, some fraction of those are going to be interested in holding monetary value in Bitcoin. And there's only so many of those to go around. Now we're approaching the halving in about 6 days. So that is going to reduce the supply, the marginal supply, by half every day, for the next 4 years or so. And so there's going to be a lot less to buy. And when I look at it, I think it's like, okay, well, I've got 2 Bitcoins, so I'm in this group right here. I'm in the the 659,000 addresses that hold, between 1 and 10. So, okay, and if we go all the way up, to 17.46, 05, 01, so let's call it 3%. 3% of all the Bitcoin addresses have at least one Bitcoin. And that puts me in that top 3%. And, it's an exponential curve, obviously much more stacked over at 1 than there is at, 1,000. So, maybe I'm in the top 2.5% or whatever it is. So, as Bitcoin becomes adopted by the mainstream as some kind of financial asset that represents some amount of value, then the fiat value of that is going to increase. So basically, I'm with that 2 Bitcoin, I'm long Bitcoin and short fiat, and I think that's a reasonable proposition. Now, I also have my gold and silver. I also have ammunition. I also have other things. It's not the only thing in my portfolio, but I think it is an important thing, and it's the part that I'm most bullish on. And after that would be my silver, I think. So just take a moment to, consider your whole financial situation and say, what portion of my savings do I want to hold in Bitcoin to potentially have that exposure to that shift in monetary viewpoint. So yeah, I just wanted to make that quick point, and we've already gone longer than I thought that quick point would take, but that's the way it goes sometimes. We'll catch you on the next one.